Greetings, everyone. This is Al Fadi. I hope you're enjoying this video series on the various logical fallacies, I should say, that many of our Muslim friends might bring up, whether intentionally or unintentionally, or maybe they were taught this fallacy, they believe it wholeheartedly, maybe they've heard some of their debaters mention it, and they assume it to be correct or a strong argument. Regardless of the reason behind it, our job here in this video series is to unpack these fallacies for you in hope that you can basically deal with it and turn it around and put the focus back on the argument itself rather than these distractions. Today's topic deals with what we call smokescreen or red herring. And with us here in studio to unpack this is Dr. J. Smith. Welcome back, Dr. J. So what are we dealing with now?
Now, this is a tactic that is common whenever you're into a discussion and you're starting to win the discussion, you're starting to recourse back to scripture to support what you're saying, like we've said to do in all the previous ones. They then quickly throw a smokescreen out or a red herring to shut down the argument or to bring it, to divert it to something that's a little safer. So in whatever the discussion is, a lot of times they'll say, well, what about this? How can 1 + 1 + 1 = 1? They'll always default back to the Trinity. That's another one they always love because they feel that was one where it's a fail-safe for them. Or they feel that we are not able to defend, let alone define what we mean by the Trinity, which in many cases is the truth for many Christians. They can't defend or define it. So that's why they put it over as a smokescreen and as a red herring. Another one that's a very common one is whenever you're talking about the violences in the news, and that brings up ISIS or any of the Boko Haram or Al-Shabaab or any of these violent groups that are all over our news almost every day, they will quickly put up, oh, what about the Crusades? There's a smokescreen. They don't want to answer the question. They know they can't respond to it because they know that you know scripture already. So they'll just say, well, what about the Crusades? Those are much more evil. That was genocide. And so they will bring that up as a smokescreen, as a diverting tactic to get you off it. Or they'll say, well, listen, and they say, well, can you show where you have this piece in the Quran? They'll start, okay, we can go back to chapter there is no compulsion in religion. And I always say, well, do you know where that's found? And they have no idea where it is. I say it's in chapter 2, verse 256. Why don't you read the rest of the verse and read the verse that follows it? Look at the context. Because there it says, for those who stand against Allah and his prophet, great shall be their perdition, for they shall be in hellfire. Now tell me if there's no compulsion. Just read the entire context. There's all kinds of compulsion in that verse. Yeah. And that's for you. That's not for me. That verse is for you. So don't oppose it on me. I remember once we were in the House of Lords and this was brought up, and Douglas Murray and I were both there, and we were confronting Lord Ahmed, who came up with a whole pile of books. We were actually talking about Islamic laws or Islamic courts in Britain. We were trying to shut them down. He turns to us and says, why are you worried about this? We're a religion of peace. Look, for it says, if you confront us and you aggress us, defend yourself, but don't go beyond the limit. See, we're not even supposed to go beyond. There's nothing you have to worry about. I said, Lord Ahmed, do you know where that's found? He said, oh, no, I'm not a theologian. I said, that's chapter 2, verse 190. Have you read the next verse? What limit are you not to go beyond? Read the following verse, especially verse 193, and slay them wherever ye find them. So what limit are you supposed to go beyond? I'm already dead. I'm no longer living. He said, yes, but in the Quran it says very clearly, he who takes the blood of one is if he takes the blood of all.
Yeah, the favorite.
If he who saves the blood of one is if he saves the blood of all. I said, well, do you know where that's found? He says, no, I don't know. I'm not a theologian.
532.
Chapter 5, verse 32. I said, have you read the first part of that verse?
Yeah.
You know what the first part of the verse is?
Right, and what about 533?
Well, the first part of that verse is, O children of Israel. So does this have to do with you?
Exactly.
This is for the Jews, and it comes from verse 31, which is Cain and Abel. Cain, his brothers.
And it's borrowed from rabbinic teachings.
There you go. And I said that comes from the Talmud of Jonathan ben Uzziah, word for word, right out of the Talmud of Jonathan ben Uzziah. Now, I said that's for Jews only, so it's not for you. Why don't you read, as you say, the next verse, verse 33? Because that is for us, you and me. And it says very clearly, he who does not believe, does not follow Allah or his prophet, or does mischief in the land, crucify them and cut off their hands and feet from opposite sex.
Gives you choices.
There you go. Can you see? Now that is the verse you should have read because that's to do with us. Don't read verse 32. That's for Jews only. It's very clear. You're not a child of Israel. I said, so these are the kind of things that you need to do. It's a red herring. They throw these things out there. They try to smoke screen it. They don't want to talk about ISIS. They don't want to talk about Boko Haram or Al-Shabaab or all the Al-Qaeda and all the other problems and the atrocities that are happening in the name of Islam. They would rather talk about the Crusades, and they would rather talk about the peaceful verses, quote unquote, that just don't exist in the Quran. So make sure that you nip that in the bud. Make them, hold them accountable. Say, no, almost everything that we're talking about comes out of your scriptures. You've got to defend those scriptures. But for heaven's sakes, exegete them. Read the entire verse. Don't just read one phrase of it. That's called proper exegesis. What you're doing is what we call eisegesis. You're imposing onto the verse what's not there.
Excellent. And what about next fallacy that we're going to be covering?
Next one was a real doozy. It's called what we call historical precedents. We're going to love this one because this is right up our alley.
And just as a brief overview of it, what does it deal with?
Oh, basically, it's saying that which comes later is more important than that which comes earlier.
Which is, it flies in the face of logic,
of
actually.
Everything. You're going. Yes. That's why it's great. We're going to have fun with this one.
All right, everyone. Well, until next episode, I hope you've been enjoying this video series, and feel free to, of course, send us any comments, connect with us, and until next episode, next time, this is Al Fadi. God bless. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And ring the bell so you will be notified when we release new content. Our mission is to reach Muslims with the gospel of Jesus Christ and help Christians engage with their Muslim neighbors. If you want to join us in this life-changing work, please support us on patreon.com/CIRA International, or just click on the link below.